Caroline walked to the front door, her face lit with the kind of joy that should have warmed me once. Instead, that bright smile twisted my stomach into knots. She had no clue what was waiting for her, a moment that would shatter her carefully hidden double life. For 8 years, I believe our marriage was built on love, honesty, and trust. We met in college, fell deeply in love, and built what I thought was an unshakable bond. But that night, sitting alone in our dimly lit living room, eyes locked on my laptop screen, I realized everything had been a lie she had crafted right under my nose. It started subtly about a month ago. Small changes, barely noticeable at first. She was glued to her phone more often, laughing at messages she wouldn't share. Nights at the office became frequent, always explained by some new project. I wanted to trust her, to believe it was nothing, but too many things didn't add up. New clothes she never wore around me, a scent I didn't recognize on her skin, a distance in her eyes when she looked at me. Still, I didn't want to jump to conclusions. I needed certainty, not suspicion. One day, she left her phone unattended. My hands trembled as I opened it. What I found ripped through me like a blade. Messages with someone named Derek, someone she once casually mentioned as a co-worker. But these weren't work conversations. They were filled with passion, secrecy, and intimacy. Photos, plans to meet, things I'll never be able to erase from my memory. I was devastated. The pain was overwhelming. But I knew confronting her without airtight evidence would be useless. Caroline could twist any situation, spin any lie, cry on cue. So I stayed quiet, and I prepared. I installed a small, hidden camera in the living room, disguised as a decorative item. I synced it to my laptop to capture anything important. Then I accessed her location history. She had always been careless with her passwords, and I knew her patterns well enough to get into her accounts. I monitored everything, texts, calls, locations. Nothing escaped me. Tonight was the moment I'd been planning for. She told me she was going out with Claire, but I already knew Claire was out of town. I had messaged her myself to confirm. I tracked Caroline's location and watched her arrive at a fancy restaurant across the city. Derek was already waiting. I didn't need to follow them. I had everything I needed. I went back home and got everything ready. Screenshots of messages, photos, the camera footage. I compiled all of it into a folder labeled The Truth and queued it up on the TV. The door opened. Caroline stepped inside, glowing, her cheeks flushed from laughter and wine. She kicked off her shoes and smiled at me. "Hey, babe." I managed to smile. "Hey, how was your night?" She walked past me with a casual shrug. "Oh, just drinks with Claire. Catching up. It's been ages." I nodded, voice calm. "Sounds fun. Before you head to bed, there's something I want you to see. It's on the TV." For a split second, her face tightened. "Oh, what is it?" "Just something I've been working on," I said quietly. She hesitated, then sat down. I picked up the remote and pressed play. The screen lit up, showing their messages. Each one appeared slowly, deliberately, giving her time to take it all in. Her face went pale. Next came the photos, selfies of her and Derek in restaurants, outside his car, places she said she was working late. Finally, the surveillance footage played. Her voice, her laughter, the whispers into her phone, right there in our living room. She stared, frozen, horror etched across her face. What is this?" Her voice cracked. I stood with my arms crossed, gaze steady. "This is the truth. The one you've been hiding. You and Derek." Her mouth opened, panic flooded her voice. "It's not what it looks like. I can explain." "Don't." My voice was cold, harder than I intended. "Don't insult me by lying again. I have everything. Every word. Every meeting." She broke down, her body shaking with sobs. "Please, I didn't mean for any of this. It was a mistake." I laughed bitterly. "A mistake? Forgetting to take out the trash is a mistake. This was a choice. Over and over again." The silence that followed was deafening. Her crying filled the space. But I stayed quiet, letting it all sink in. Then I ended it. I've already contacted a lawyer. I'm filing for divorce. She looked up, tears streaming down her face. No, please. We can fix this. I'll end it with Derek. I'll go to therapy. Just don't leave. I exhaled slowly. You left me the day you chose him. I'm just finalizing it. She lunged forward, clutching my hand like it could undo everything. I love you. I swear. I'll do anything. Please. I pulled away, shaking my head. It's too late. And with that, I walked upstairs, leaving her broken on the couch. The days that followed were hard, but I didn't waver. I moved into the guest room and began unraveling our life together. My lawyer was sharp, professional, and thorough. Things moved quickly. It didn't end there. Derek, it turned out, had his own wife. When I contacted her, she was more than willing to provide additional proof. Together, we made sure both of them felt the consequences. Caroline tried to resist. She begged, tried to make amends. But without me holding her world together, it all collapsed. She had spent so long creating the illusion of a perfect life, and now that illusion was in ruins. When the divorce was finalized, I felt something I hadn't in years: freedom. I had lost someone I once thought I'd spend my life with, but I gained something even more valuable: peace, clarity, and self-respect. I don't know what happened to Caroline after that. Last I heard, Derek's wife kicked him out too. Maybe Caroline learned something. Maybe she didn't. Either way, it's no longer my concern. Life has a cruel way of teaching us lessons we never wanted to learn. For me, it was betrayal. But through the pain, I discovered resilience. No matter how broken you feel, there's always a way to rise.